Welcome to Just a Conversation, the podcast where we speak about topics that matter to you. I'm Michael Alcock, and joining me today is my co-host,
Aisha Reed.
And today we're talking about something that hits close for many Barbadians: growing your own food. Whether you have a small space, a backyard plot, or want to start an urban garden, we'll be discussing the benefits of home gardening and how it can empower us to be more self-sufficient. We've brought some amazing guests today: Chef Adrian Cumberbatch, Michael James from the Ministry of Agriculture, and Sheria Brathwaite from the Feed program. Together, we'll be sharing practical tips, expert advice, and inspiring stories to help you get started on your journey from seed to table. Okay, so today's topic is about self-sufficiency through home gardening, and we have three expert guests here on the subject matter. We have Chef Adrian Cumberbatch, a chef and advocate for local sustainable food sourcing. Michael James, a representative from the Ministry of Agriculture, and Sheria Brathwaite of the Feed program. So, Chef Cumberbatch, I'm going to start with you. Tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about your passion for using local ingredients in your food. What drives you?
To help you flavor the pot nice locally.
Well, to go back a little bit, I started my company in 2016, and it's called Cook Caribbean Inc., where from there, you get that aspect of cooking Caribbean.
Right.
Our mission is to educate, entertain, to elevate the Caribbean cuisine and its people. Right. So we push a lot of local ingredients in our cuisine. Do a lot of things like the roast breadfruits and the cuckoos and the stewed lambs, using black belly sheep and stuff like that instead of using imported lamb. We also do the educational part of it. We do cooking classes for kids. We also work along with the government, by MAP and the Barbadians Youth Advanced Court. So from there, we lay the foundation and you learn the basics of cooking, and then we go into agriculture tours, the marine tours to learn about what is produced,
where the food coming from
in Barbados, so they could understand actually from the seed to the table. So we go to the Edgecombe plantation and dig sweet potatoes or get the banana and stuff like that. Then we go back to the studio and then we make like these sweet potato pie or sweet potato muffins or the banana cakes and stuff like that. So that's a general synopsis of what my company does so far.
And then also, I remember working with you last year on a project, and you always mentioned the importance of having local ingredients. Can you just tell me why? Especially the herbs and stuff like that.
It's sustainable for the farmers, supporting local too as well. And when tourists travel thousands of miles to get here, they don't want to see anything that come from there where they don't come from. So they want us to give what we grew up on, what we learned. So that even pushed me into starting my own greenhouse. Because when going to supermarkets, sometimes the fastest thing that is moved is the herbs off the shelves. So that pushed me into growing my own herbs. From basil, go right back down to pineapples, apple trees, sapodillas. I got a plan for next year to actually try to get at least 100 breadfruit trees planted.
Oh, wow.
I can't keep one tomato. Are you talking about growing pineapples? Yeah. Mr. James, I come to you because I need some help. I seem to be having a lot of trouble. Give us a little bit about your background.
Herbs grown, but
I'm struggling. Tell us a bit about what you do.
Okay, my name is Michael James. I'm the Chief Agriculture Officer acting at the Ministry of Agriculture and Nutrition Security at this present time. I've been in agriculture for a long time, since I left school, 1985, 86. And I've worked in the plant protection area of agriculture. So it's been interesting to hear the chef talk about having local produce. I think one of the things you look at is the freshness.
Yes.
I know you didn't mention it, but it's fresher. I mean, you get some herb and you smell it, and you're talking about herb, not herb. When you smell it, it's a different it adds to the pot, and I like to cook too.
Right,
you know,
right.
so you like to have the fresh herb that you sprinkle in, especially a marjoram and seed, and it gives a nice flavor, right? We do import a lot. We have a fairly heavy import bill as respect to agriculture products.
Right.
But if you break it down, you look at the fresh fruit and vegetables, it comes to about 20-25 million US dollars, which is smaller than the overall import bill, which is over 400 and somebody million US dollars. But when you look at the fresh produce, which is 25, there's about 60 million Barbados dollars. Still significant.
Yes.
But in the scheme of things, it's much smaller than what the overall bill is. And we can, with our own things, look at growing things that we can use. I mean, when we were growing up, my family come from St. George, and we never bought breadfruits. We never bought golden apples. You know, somebody was always there to give you something.
Right.
I think we've gotten away from that, as well as I don't think that we care about the trees as before. And I think this is something that needs to come out. I think because the trees are there, mango, breadfruit, whatever, they're always going to be there.
Right.
That's a fallacy.
And don't talk about we cutting them down.
Yeah. You know, people, you know, so it's different now, but you still have to feed the trees. I mean, for years, these trees have been in the soil, and we take it for granted that they're going to always have food. But just like you have to eat during the day, these trees need replenishing.
Right.
So you still have to get in some fertilizer.
Right.
And you don't have to go outside. I mean, if you have chickens and you have ducks and you have whatever, you can use that manure as long as it's well rotted.
Right.
Because if you put fresh manure to anything, it's going to burn it.
Okay.
Right, so you don't want that.
That might be what
So-
to my husband.
maybe, right? So, I mean, the more people get involved in doing these things, it's better.
Right.
When you come home from work, sometimes you will know you're tired, right? You know, but to go in the yard with something that you're growing is a release. Get up early in the morning time and you go and, you know, it gives you that form of something you just have to let go. You don't want to be at work all the time.
Right.
That murders you. So you want to be able to actually go in there and you see something growing. You know, when you plant a seed
Yes.
I
and
see
then
it.
you can harvest it. It is, and I think what he said, you're not going to the supermarket. I think a lot of children just think that you see them in the supermarket, it comes from the supermarket. They don't know where actual things come from.
Right.
Orange juice come from the supermarket. No, orange juice come from orange.
Right.
You know, when you see limes, or you say cut up.
Right.
You know, but I think you need more of that, and it starts from the home. If you can teach your children, these are the things that you are eating.
Right.
All right, they take more care and they appreciate it more.
Right. So Sheria,
Yes, please.
from your, give me again a bit about your background and how the feed program can help us on this mission to get us
Grow more.
and self-sufficient.
Okay. So there is Sheria, the journalist, and then there is Farmer Brath, the farmer.
Farmer Brath. I
That's
love
what
it.
we should be calling you right now.
Farmer Brath.
Farmer
Yeah,
Brath.
yeah.
Farmer Brath in session. Okay.
Okay. So my passion for agriculture really developed from my grandmother and my godfather. As you could probably hear in my accent from the country. So my grandmother, she always used to keep a lot of black belly sheep. I get a couple butts, but
Yeah, I get a butt once, but go.
You always get my go.
I get a good
right,
butt.
so you know my thing.
Right.
Right. And then my godfather, no, he used to plant a lot of chives and parsley and hot peppers.
Right.
Right. So I always had that, experience growing up. So when I got into reporting now, journalism, I developed a love for beat reporting, like a specialty area. So I decided that, I would go down the line of agriculture because that's my thing.
And your
Right.
background.
Yes. So when the government decided to take a chance on the average Barbadian, you didn't have to have a lot of knowledge in farming, and they introduced the feed program. I was very much interested because on a personal level, I wanted to do something extra, to make some
Yeah.
more money. And I also wanted to try my hands finally at this thing called farming.
Right.
So in 2022, I got a 1 acre plot allotted to me in Wakefield, St. John. And as the old people would say, the rest is history. Right. I would still say that I am quote unquote a novice because
You got
it's
some
just
mahas?
2 years. Actually, what I would say is that I have been, in terms of my experience with tomatoes, has not been bad actually.
Okay. So you better than me, so you definitely.
So what the ministry did to help you to learn more about farming?
We had to undergo a 3-month program. And honestly, it was online. And I would say
That was during COVID.
That was during COVID. COVID-19. You had to undergo a 3-month program. And that was good in terms of putting things into perspective. You learn about tractor operations. You learn about the length of time it takes to grow. The cash crops are like the root crops. You got a lot of information. But the best thing about that program was the establishment of the field officers, because those persons were like, it was like my best friend. Anytime I had a problem, or before I even consider going to buy seedlings, I would call my field officer and ask, you think that this would be a good cash crop or whatever, or, help me in terms of getting the inputs, like recommending the type of fertilizer or the pesticides that I would need. So in terms of taking a chance on, like I said, the average Barbadian who didn't have to necessarily have a background in farming, I really appreciate the feed program.
That's great.
Yes.
Awesome.
So Adrian,
Yes, please.
Yes.
before we get back to Mikul, how you learn to farm? Because you're from the country, so how you learn to farm?
But I grew up in Carlton, Lower Carlton. My grandfather used to work on the sugar plantation.
Okay.
My grandmom was a house cook where Greensleeves is now. Before it turned out big and fancy thing,
Yeah.
my grandma was a housekeeper down there. He had my grandfather had a fishing boat too. So like I from young in the neighborhood, is to see the man they got pigs, so you would get pork for
for him,
and then
yeah.
we give him yams and then big brown fire come about 10 buckets of sugar for the factory. So I know from young sharing and and then even like chickens, we had time to go and from supermarket, you want chicken with breakfast, eggs, go on the cellar.
Yeah.
And get so from young we had that in me, see my grandmother cooking, cleaning thousands of flying fish and things. I had that in me from young. But how we got back in it this year was that, again, it could not get fresh fresh herbs and stuff like that at my disposal, right? And I said, you know what? I went on YouTube, look at greenhouses. I feel at the first 2 months, 3 months, I started to get pesticides and stuff like that.
I about to ask you what
what I didn't know is that you don't let people come in your greenhouse, one.
Right.
And then like when they go in, they got special clothes for the greenhouse and shoes.
Okay.
So a guy teach me that way before you enter me, I gotta take off all these clothes. They come from outside.
Right.
So like walking and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I got special clothes now for me. So I realized I got a lot of white flies. I got a lot of these things, make things, the tomatoes, plants start to get. They realize what's really going on here.
Right.
And then when they ban seeds for everybody or seedlings for everybody, I'm trying to stock up. It carrying pesticides from all over.
Right.
So I realized that, you know what? One source, not even my mother. When they say there, none of my workers, that only for me, my clothes, and I learned that this year. Right. So, and then they had a dry spell earlier too that. You gotta understand.
It happened.
So then, it's still a learning progress, but I got a lot of things.
Yeah.
I got so much things that I wasn't going to do all these things.
Now listen to me, and when you smell some fresh chives and
Correct.
marjoram, you got marjoram. Yeah.
I got chili pepper, banana pepper, bird pepper.
All the peppers.
I got all the peppers I have. Right? So and I knew a lot. And what I did too was I purchased a tent from the Indian guy, $800 a tent. Went by the greenhouse thing, put over it and start. I know money saving.
Mr. James.
My food costs us.
Went down, yeah.
What he's talking about. If you listen, and she said it, he had the chives, marjoram. Wait, something like not putting in the sauce. You can actually smell the put in the sauce when you breadfruit. You put the cucumber and everything, and things like that. I mean, like cucumbers and pumpkin, like all like now, pumpkins running.
Right.
All right. Once you learn to run, your neighbor it planted by your neighbor, but you run across by you. So whatever by you, you keep. And I mean, this is thing that has been going on for years. Right. Those are possibly 3 months crops. So once you start growing them, it's this time of the year you want conkeys.
Because I got a question for you, right? My pumpkins. What?
Stop farming.
Why here? I want to learn. I want to get it done. I grew up pumpkins once, and I give pumpkins to my whole family. To the asking me every year since. And I don't know what happened that year, but it never happened since. I try to do the organic thing, and the organic thing is working for me. Tell me how you get these vegetables to grow at your house.
Well, he started right way. The first things, if you are a smoker, you know anybody smoke, don't let them come ground your plants.
Right.
For instance, there's a particular disease called tobacco mosaic virus.
Okay, never heard about
Concerning tobacco, and when you smoke tobacco, the thing is that it stays on your fingers.
Fingers, that's true.
So when you come in and you touch plants, especially you're talking about your cucurbits and things like your peppers, the tomatoes, which are all part of that.
Right.
They're going to spread.
Right.
And that is when some days they come with the curling, apart from the white flies.
Right.
So he's done a good thing in that he's the only body that goes in there. And he obviously has some sort of setting where he excludes what comes in. So whether it be a door, whether it be a screen, they sell these things all about. You can have just a netting, anti-insect netting, where you can put down. Getting back to your pumpkins.
Right.
Pumpkins, like cucumbers, they're all cucurbits. Pumpkins, cucumbers, squash, watermelons.
Right.
Okay. Now, they're interesting in the sense that at times they need particular nutrients. Now, this is something that we don't really talk about.
Yeah.
We obviously believe that you just plant them.
Yes,
that's
exactly what I did.
They need food. They need nutrients.
Okay.
So you have your macronutrients, which is your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium.
Right.
They have your micronutrients, which is similar to you taking multivitamins. You don't need them in a lot, but if you don't have them, then the plants don't grow as they should.
Right.
For instance, sometimes you have a feature of your cucurbits. The first time that you see them come out, sometimes you don't get them. So they put out what we call a false fruit. And it's because it has not been pollinated. So you might see the fruit come out, but it hasn't. You get excited. And then people get frustrated because, oh, geez, they got this thing coming out. We give it time because then as you get more pollination, then you get the fruit start to grow. But the bees, that's why bees and flies are important because those are the ones that actually do the pollination. And then every fly that you think, the flies that you see just normally, even the butterflies. The sad thing with the butterflies though is that when the butterflies are young, we like call worms, the caterpillars, those are the ones that can wreak havoc. But the old ones, the actual ones that look good, you remember we were growing up, you see the monarch butterflies they used to go and catch the penguins. Right? But those are the ones that actually do the pollination. So there's a period of time that you have to let the process go through. So if it's a point where you're not seeing young fruit, it can be a matter that they're not getting enough nutrients. Right. All right. So you just give it time, or it hasn't been fertilized. Sometimes you get you see cucumbers. Sometimes you see something with like a little tail. They're short and stubby with a little tail. Yes. That means that they have not been pollinated right through.
Solve my problem.
So talk to me. If I want to grow some herbs in a small plant pot or something, what do I need?
Okay. Herbs like good drainage.
Okay.
They like water, but not the time is that's like if you go into the sea for too long, you want people to go.
So we can't do
You don't want so they need proper drainage. So you need half soil, half sand, and then the rest in proper dried organic manure.
Okay.
All right. Sheep, cow, you can use chicken. But it must be well dried. Horse is excellent, but horse manure is also extremely strong in urea. All right, for want of a better, it peel like mad. So when they're high in urea, so if you put fresh horse manure to your plants, don't look for any plants. Okay, it's going to kill them. Okay, so once you have and you make sure you do it correctly. So it's 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1-to-1, and you make sure you mix it up properly so you get that good filtration. Because you want when you wet that the water does not stay around the roots for any indefinite period, now it's going to cause rotting.
Right.
So things like marjoram, your thyme, your parsley, they're like that type of thing. And it's good if you grow them underneath some sort of shade. All right? So that even if the rainfall, that cuts out
You water.
that watering
Excessive water.
aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right?
Got you.
And then when you're cutting now, that's another reason. If you know, some business, if people thieving from you, you just
yeah.
gonna snatch up and back off. No, get a scissors. That is only for that.
Correct.
Okay.
Only for that.
Only
for that.
for
We got
that.
the tools for that.
All right, so you will get your scissors.
Should've
You
got
go
the
cut
little
off your
pads
piece,
today.
and if you want to even so get some those wipes that you can just wipe off
off
the blade
yeah.
between your cuttings.
Oh, nice.
And that's what you need to do. All right, when you're replanting, you cut off the top, shake out the roots, you can replant. If you're talking about chives, you pull them up, separate, and replant.
Okay.
Right, but if you take the same knife that you got all boy place and
Yeah,
you're
sure.
cutting like you're a madman, you will spread whatever
Cross
is wrong plants.
contamination, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
I am that madman.
I like to pick up on a point that James pointed
That's
out
good because I was coming to you, so you go with your point.
in
first.
terms of the fertilizer. No, recently, as everybody's been seeing with the economy, the prices tend to go up.
Yeah.
Right.
And some fertilizer has doubled in price, especially
$200 a bike.
correct, James. And unfortunately, Barbadians do not like when farmers carry up their prices. When
Right,
the
yeah, yeah.
inputs go up, but they expect the prices to be low.
Right.
So what I have done, you develop a relationship with the farmer, chicken farmers. Develop a relationship with the chicken farmers. When they're ready to clean out their pens, call me and
Give me
ask me
all.
how much chicken manure that I want, and I collect it. I let it
Dry
out. Yes, for X amount of time on the farm before I apply it to the field, and that has been
Saving
helpful.
you some money.
But
Yeah.
not only is that, because the manure also adds things. It allows for, we call it easier tilth. One, it promotes other good organisms to grow in the soil, which would then kill off the ones that you don't want.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So organic manure is not only to give nutrients, but it also provides the soil with a better space and better for the good guys to live as opposed and stop the bad guys from coming in.
Okay.
Right.
Adrian.
Talk about price there, right? That's food is one of the most expensive commodities, right?
Everybody want cheap.
Yes.
Everybody want cheap food. I can't understand. They're doing mass and stuff like that, right? But I do understand the farmers. I do understand when you shop. When as a chef, you try to shop at a local vendor. Let's say
Right.
vendor on the side of the road. His food is going to be more expensive. His sweet potato price point will be more expensive than supermarket price point because he's an individual sole trader, right? So he got to make profits for himself, his family. Well, he not buying in massive bulk,
Right.
which I understand. But then at the other end from the chef end, we got a cost to maintain, right? A full cost, so that it doesn't really affect the customer
Right.
as much, right?
Right.
Or affect the financier by firing you for going full cost. So sometimes it'd be difficult to really try to get support local farmers all the time, especially when all the rest of the prices around, which I understand keeps going up. They have to live.
Right.
The chef gotta live. The business, everybody business have to live. So it'd be very difficult at times to support 100% local
Right.
now,
Right.
This is
because of the
interesting
price point.
moment here. So I'm wondering amongst everybody here, what
It's
we see as a solution to that.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, the ministry does offer rebates.
Yes.
As long as you're a registered farm, you get rebates on everything.
Right.
Remember that you don't pay duty, VAT on your inputs.
Right.
So
Okay.
things like agricultural inputs, the fertilizer, whatever, there's no VAT on that.
Okay.
I think what farmers have to do, as my mom was saying, is a business. I think COVID-19 taught a lot of people that it is not as easy as a lot of, let me plant sand as you are discovering. There is work to be put into this. But I think what farmers have to do is to sit down and put down on paper, as you said, what I have put into this, the cost of the
cost,
inputs, everything.
Yes.
And then you can say, look, this cost me 40 cents to produce. For heaven's sake, Jesus, Lord have mercy. I can't go and sell it for $3. You cannot expect to make back your complete investment in one go. I think that is how the balance is.
Right.
So something that costs you 40 cents, you can sell at $1, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or if the chef coming back to you all the time, and this is the problem that you get. Some people, you tell me that you cut off your nose to spoil your features. Okay. Some person might say, well, you might agree with the chef, listen, I can sell you this at $1. But you come, you say, listen, I give you $1.50. You can left with the chef, you know?
Yeah. And he coming to
You left with the chef coming to you all the time. You only come once in a while. Right? So there is some balance we can get, and I agree with the chef, and I agree with her. Things are expensive, they're going up. So you look for other ways, using more organic manure and so forth to cut down on your costs.
You already came out with a solution there.
But you also have to now sit down and yourself calculate what your input is, and that includes your labor.
Right. Right.
I think some people forget. It's
a job.
Yeah.
Right? And everything, I think that if farmers do that, and don't go, you know, we go by, you know, Aisha selling it $7 a pound. It's $6.50.
Right.
No cost, and you don't know what it costs to produce. This is my issue. This has always been an issue for us. Calculate what it costs for you to produce, so that you might be surprised that you might be selling under. But in most cases, we are selling so much over because we sell in Barbados based on what people could buy it for.
Right.
Let's fool ourselves. This is what we do. All right. The market says we sell $7 a pound. We selling that $7 a pound.
Right.
Don't matter if it costs you $2 to produce.
Right.
But you still got to feel for your grandmother, even if your grandmother, people out there that go live.
Yes.
All right. That one, and this is why then you find that the people that import will come on to cut you and sell.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sheria, during the food feed program, they taught you about the importance of keeping your books and all that there.
That's the question I was just coming to.
Yeah, keeping the importance of keeping records. I would say that
You're laughing.
In terms of keeping records, I would say that I probably 65% there.
Well, you're better
in terms of keeping perfect records.
That's passport.
But I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here with James. No, let me tell you something. I out there working hard and our son, and I beating up on my back and face. If it's $7 in market price, I selling at $7 in market price. And then sometimes my crop don't always come. So when it come, and they getting that markup for it, that's what it gonna be.
But no, what's happening is right. There are two things. Anytime going cheap side market, right?
Yes.
And people see me from TV. Automatically,
Hey.
chef boy, he's chef for TV. Wow,
I know everybody is.
Send a man of mine.
Are you saying 650?
I think, but before you go on, right? Before I want to make sure topic, your thing you say just that I always say this, that putting a sauce within 5 years gonna start to diminish because people say, man, everybody selling sauce at $18. I got some is at 18 too. But we do full cost on sauce for a person to really make profit on sauce. The cheapest will be $30 now.
Yeah.
$30 a box for small box, you know. Pork is $9 a pound alone.
Yeah.
Sweet potato.
I learned that the other day. But
They're high.
Feels?
So they when a vendor turn in talking money all the time and raise I'm making the money off of this here. Every month get hard and work hard to put that sauce and really making the profits they want off it because they're looking at the market price and then really set up where you got to pay for water and the cleanup and all this after all that's cost, right? So it is wrong to say that because the market selling at $7 that you as a business individual selling saying $7, you know, because your operation cost is what set you to one.
Yeah.
So your operation cost will be way less than him.
Yes, everybody's different.
So even if you selling your sweet potatoes at 6 and he at 7, you're gonna sell more, and you're gonna make over a period, law average over a period of time, right? So just because I can make an extra dollar on it, that's what you guys are total selling breadfruits at $40 and $6 and $7 and things.
For one breadfruit?
Yeah, a breadfruit. I would live off a bread. If I didn't know a breadfruit, I would not sell those breadfruit balls. I would just sell the breadfruit raw.
But the thing about it is, you brought an interesting point. It's like the coconuts, the breadfruit. You see these guys selling, unless it is imported where they're paying for it. I am betting you, a lot of those guys don't have any overheads.
And I'm saying,
Besides actually going and pick the breadfruit, they probably. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you, a lot of them don't have the overheads. So again, they're selling these things. And I mean, $6 for breadfruit, $9 for avocado, $9 for avocado, which they don't own a tree. They never water it, never put fertilizer to it, but they're selling at $9 for. Again, as my friend said, that is the market. I'm making sure, but we laughing, but it's two things. You can either go vertically integrated. That means you produce your potatoes. You go and pick in the backyard so that everything you do, it is yours.
Right.
That is one way to look at it. The other way is that we got to think more local. I mean, you have the credit union out there. I know if anybody have been to Switzerland. Switzerland has an interesting thing they call co-op, which is a type of big supermarket run by the co-op. Why can't the cooperatives get a supermarket and purchase only local produce?
Okay.
Where you have now, you don't care about the masses and them. The masses and them got their thing, but you can run interference. But the co-op itself now would have a supermarket where they're taking the produce from the local farmer, where the local farmer knows I have an outlet that I can take this thing to.
Right.
And Bajans will know I can go at the co-op. Just say St. George co-op, but you put it on a bigger scale.
Right.
I have a co-op that I can purchase my things from. You ain't got to know nobody, but you are saying you have an alternative. All right, and it is time. I think what irks me sometimes is that we as farmers, black people, don't get together.
It's true.
Because if he needs 40 pounds of sweet potatoes, but she only producing 20, isn't that she can sell all 20 or she can thief 20 plus 20?
Correct. She could.
All right, but get another body to grow a little thing, and that body grow a little 5 to meet his 40.
And I think we got to do that even with the fishing industry. Because everybody got to come together.
When you're buying things, then and you're buying in bulk, it'll be cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Exactly.
All right, so this is one thing I would never forget. I used to eat bananas so bad. We used to go to Sauce Factory. I don't know if you all know. Things was down there. You would never know unless you look down there.
I did not know that.
Right.
I did not know that.
Smell, you can smell that. So you had an integrated approach. All right, so maybe that's why he could have kept that price point. But we really need to look at it as a business. Yes, I know we're promoting local, just growing your own little things in the backyard, and that is good for the next door there. But if you know you're going to sell, look at it and say, look, I'm producing this, especially herbs.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about time to sell at what? Sometimes $15, $30 a kilogram.
As I parsley too. Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Especially when it's scarce.
A shadow Benny, 6 leaves in the supermarket. 6 or 7.
Bay leaf. I saw a bay leaf in the supermarket and a pack. $5 and $10.
Yeah. I go outside and fell off the
That is
tree.
you, but I'm telling you. I tell you, a bay leaf is good. Like for the thing, it helps with hypertension. It got a lot of
benefits.
Tastes good with cocoa, with everything. Soup. Your gravies.
You're correct.
Yeah, I just say, look, I'm a little cookies. You know what I mean? You put it in there. Right? So but why would you do? When you could plant a bay leaf tree? We have an empty lot where I live with me, and we planted a bay leaf. So if persons want, they can go and pick a bay leaf tree. But you can, I say a pack. I saw it, and I could not believe it. $10 for a small pack of bay leaf.
So y'all think that if business get more into growing their own food, it would kind of, maybe offset some of this sloping prices in one direction on certain goods.
For some things.
Like you mentioned
For some
about
things.
having a few chickens in your backyard.
we would never be able to grow everything that we want.
I'm a testament to that.
But some of the local, and there will always be people who ain't cooking.
Right.
It's true.
What do you mean? Let me be real. There will always be people who ain't cooking.
We need that.
They want to put hand on money.
There are always people who ain't gonna grow nothing.
Right.
But if you want to start out, I mean, you start out as a small thing, as the chef said, for himself and for your family, friends, and whatever. That helps with the cost.
Right.
And you're not going to be able to produce everything. You're still going to go to the supermarket and buy something.
Yes.
But it offset how much you have to pay out.
Right.
Now, let extra money can go either to put in the school kids or actually going to buy something else.
Right.
But the other thing that we're missing is we talk about food security. There's something called food sovereignty. Which is more important to me than food security. Food sovereignty is actually telling you eat what you grow. Can me to say every saint? So we laugh.
Yeah, it's true.
Food comes first. Eat what you grow.
Yeah.
So is this eating the breadfruit? And the chef is there. Do it differently. Do it some breadfruit chips. So the thing is getting them accustomed to eating the fresh tomato. Completely different taste than the ones that come in.
It's true.
Okay. So it is getting the children accustomed to eating the sweet potato, the baked sweet potato on a Sunday. And never forget that every Sunday you had to bake. Every time you have rice, you had a piece of slice of sweet potato, a slice of pear.
Correct.
Is it what time days? All right,
For sure.
we need
We need to get back there.
we need to get back
I
there.
don't know. My daughter My daughter's 4 years old now. And she like breadfruit. She like yams,
That's good.
rice,
Some of them plants
peas.
too that being mentioned.
You need to do that.
Like, what's the entry level for growing like a avocado tree? For growing,
For you?
I opened this.
Avocado. When you talk about avocado, you're talking about breadfruit. You're talking a couple of years, between 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
That you can start getting fruit from it.
Right.
I am all for growing more avocados in Barbados. The avocados you get is something called a hasp, which is a small avocado with something. By the time you put it down, it crinkles.
That's
It
it.
wrinkles,
That's
and
the
it
one
goes
you see in the
bad.
supermarket, right?
The one you see in the supermarket.
This hurt my heart, every time.
But you get the longer ones that come from the islands,
Yes.
St. Vincent, St. Lucia, that we actually grow here.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm all for doing more of that. The problem, and it's not a problem, the thing with avocado, and I'll tell you this, is avocado, although it has both female and male, it is a male. Some avocados are male in the morning and female in the evening.
Okay.
And switch it around. Female in the morning and male in the evening.
Okay.
So if you don't have trees that
know
are
some
around
people
you,
like
it's not a transplant. You know what I mean? But the flowers open differently. So the male opens in the morning,
Right.
while the female opens in the
In
afternoon.
the afternoon, right.
So if you don't catch it, then there's no fertilization, there's no pollination, and there's not going to be any fruit.
Right.
So sometimes what you have to do is have other trees around
Yes, please.
that will be able to offer that pollination to female when it opens.
Right.
All right. So that's where you categorize it A and B.
learn
But
something.
it is an excellent, and I think we need for persons
So I was gonna ask if you
to
recommend
start to plant, but it's something that we recommend.
She want money? No.
But you see, you want money now.
Cash crop.
Yes, you want the cash crops, but then
You can plant one.
you can grow your cash crops whilst the avocado has been planted.
is a
Yeah.
future
You can
investment.
grow you can grow beans. You can grow short crops. Like the same thing he's talking about. Some of the same herbs,
Herbs, yeah.
and things like that. There, whilst that is growing.
Growing, yeah.
Shadow benny only grows on the shade. Shadow benny does not like sunlight.
That's all.
So you have to grow it on the shade. So that's another thing. So what is the avocado going? You can have your shadow benny on the thing. Shadow benny, excellent for fish.
Correct.
Excellent in fish. Excellent in roti.
As a cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see that there are ways of doing it. Getting back to you in terms of getting rid from pests. A lot of these chives and things that give off the scent, if you they also run away.
Right.
A lot of the pests don't like to smell that.
Right.
Correct.
So when you one of the things about when you're doing something home, never grow all one type of thing.
Mix it up.
Mix it up.
Okay.
Some tomatoes, some of your thing, you see them herbs,
Cucumbers.
some of your basil. Basil also brings in a lot of butterflies, which also helps to pollinate and the bees. So you're not only fending off, you're also attracting the good guys.
I'm glad you went there. You want to go off?
Yeah, because we talking about pests.
Right, I want to talk about pests.
You want to talk about pests?
Yes. You
Continue
go
with
first. You go
pests,
first.
right.
You go first.
But what about the other problem? The monkeys.
Oh, dear.
Then the other people that's coming and take out your thing. Then the thieves.
That's a different thing.
We like to pretty it up and call it pretty larceny. It's thieving.
People that like thief things.
There's only so much we can do. There's a law against it, right? But it's a social problem. It's a societal problem. People like to just come and take up your things.
Correct.
You find it with the coconut. Sometimes you pass, you see coconuts when 3 nights and you pass back. They may come and tell you they want to pay a cent, but want to charge you $15. It's $15 or $17 now for a bottle of coconut water. All right. So I'm saying is, I don't mind you paying that, but if you're paying for the coconuts,
Exactly.
there's some persons who say once before they say, "Oh, I buy the tree," which means whatever the tree thing they're gonna. But I have no problems with that. But it's the other guys.
Well, that's in negotiation.
That's a
between
negotiation.
that person.
So pretty larceny is very difficult. I'm telling you, difficult to control. It is on the onus is on the farmer
Right.
themselves to not only to police themselves but also their friends, because believe it or not, some of the farmers steal from one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
yeah,
a
that's a
man will
big
put
thing.
down two acres of pumpkin.
I sell
Right,
four.
and selling 5 acres because he getting the rest from whoever. Let's be very, very real in this, right? I'm not blaming everybody, but I'm saying there's some persons like that. So the only way we can is the moral suasion. I don't advocate like what happened last year where a guy lost his life. You don't want to see that, right? But if a man, as a man say, go there hard working, as she did say, you out there hard working, you are going to think your property is your property, right? You don't want to see it, but people got to remember that you are your brother's keeper.
Correct.
Right? So if you know a man getting wrong, he ain't got a piece of ground. You know, warning,
Stop
telling us and
buying
stop
things
doing.
from him. Yes.
But be just like
Stop
that.
buying that.
And that's the other thing. You don't know when somebody would have sprayed something
Exactly.
on this crop.
That's so
Right.
true.
All right? But a man can sell if he know that the yam selling at $2 a pound, $150. And be just like a deal.
Go on.
Go on. You know, go on and won't.
And you don't know when they get
You
sprayed.
don't know when they get sprayed, nothing like that. So you got to think about it. The monkey problem, even more difficult. We must take into consideration that the monkeys have been here for a long time, and over time we have actually taken away some
their
of their
spaces.
albeit they've come here. They don't have a natural enemy size man. Where they came from, snakes used to eat them, panthers used to kill them. They had natural enemies.
Right.
They're not actual enemies for the monkeys in Barbados, in St. Kitts. Antigua is suffering from the same problem now, where they have an increasingly green monkey population. People try all sorts of things. People have tried putting down
Newspaper?
My dogs won't even bark at them.
dogs. Because they train the dogs.
My dogs won't even
Oh,
bark.
the monkeys train the dogs.
The monkeys will go and feed the dog sometimes, right? And so the dog, when the dog see them, the dog is
Dog
not
chilling.
anymore, unless you have a real cruel dog. Play music is one, so you can put a radio if you have a radio in the tree.
Oh, I
So that
saw that and then
I hear them talking, so they think that persons are there. That helps, right? No, it actually helps. The other thing that you can do, and what some farmers do, is leave something for them. So you put some bananas or something so that grow, and that's your stash. That's not saying the money not still thing, right? But the worst thing to do is to pelt at them or thing, because if they see you, then they come up with everything.
Okay.
They pull up everything.
Oh, you're passing at me. Right?
All this. They are very, very intelligent to that extent. So that is one way of helping to control them. There are other ways which we won't get into on this podcast. But for sure, when you talk about thieving by human beings, that is a serious issue, which, as I said, you are your brother's keeper. And the same with the monkeys, where you might have to, as a group, plant an area that you say, okay, you don't mind losing that, but keep yours on that area.
So nobody other. Well, that is one set of pests that we just talked about. In your experiences, how y'all deal with?
I don't want to deal with the monkeys.
Or you want to talk about? You can talk about monkeys.
We have a conversation.
Them is pests, so you can talk about them. I want to know, just in case, like how you if you use organic stuff, how you deal with making your crops not be like my tomatoes.
Oh, all right. Let me talk about monkeys first. Monkeys, menace, man. A menace. James talked about planting for them. I went and buy 5 trees from soil conservation, papas. I left them for them. The monkeys come and dig up all my cassava, James. You know, for a monkey to be digging cassava. You ever hear about monkeys digging for cassava?
I met some cassava chips.
Oh, the holes and all the biting them out.
Right.
James.
Farmer breath.
You know what he wants it. That's the only remedy for them.
But we have a committee that is looking at this work control in a more holistic fashion. So hopefully things will improve. I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I hope so. I remember I had a good crop of cucumbers. I gone up the road now and I'm going to pick my cucumbers. And I see the monkeys on top of my container because I got a container for storage. Monkeys are there looking at me eating, waiting until I leave so that they can come in the ground and get whatever left back. Yeah, James.
Yeah.
Menace to society.
Yep.
You got any of that issues? What about the other things, the
The
flies
other
and
flies that they
the caterpillars and them, because them is my things.
I had African snails. Cause I never had, because this is in Warrens with me, so I never had monkeys. I already seen monkeys in Warrens. So, but my things is just those
Like fleas are pests, right?
yeah, those
flies.
and I don't know the terminology name, and I know there's pests that kill my fly, that's you.
Yes. One day come there, you got
to learn this thing, right? But again, that's more basil, rosemary, and these potted plants. So I got in a ground. Remember, I got a tank cover around and everything. So that I buy the green shear.
Yeah.
Till 40% or some kind of percent I bought, but over to chop it myself. And I put my pallets down. I treated my pallets for everything first,
Right.
and then went in after. So I just got, and then like I sell too. So if
You sell too? So what? Banana peppers? You got some? I want to buy some.
but like I have planting or this. So I just plant. I will buy things and see if I want to see if it could grow.
Right.
Now, that's me. I would buy. I got so much today. Listen, it's about 6,000 of this thing, right?
Right.
I didn't even realize that because I get so excited at first, and then we see things growing. And like what?
Well, yes.
Like this?
That's what I was feeling. That's what I was feeling the year when I had all that pumpkin.
But you can use different things. You have used horticultural oils. You can use the soaps that you can say they call safer soap.
My mother was
You can
telling me about
use
neem oil at some point.
neem oil.
But the taste
That
still
you can
turned my
use.
plant bony.
Yeah, but
What I did was the neem tree and boil the water, boil it and then steep it, and then use that to spray.
I use that. You can use that.
So what we
Okay.
can do, Michael, is that we can get James to come up with you
By me
and
and
use an
You
assistant.
need first class first.
I need to take out the fee program.
I think for the backyard gardening, you may be able to get away in terms of organic farming, but open field
Right.
commercial,
It's more difficult.
I got pump some spray.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so
it's also-
and then they got other neighbors, other farmers on the same project, and we're coming over from them. I got to make sure and protect myself.
Right.
Oh,
So
right.
that's
right,
what
right.
we
I
wanted
realize
to
that. That's
know
a
the
problem.
difference between how one is approached. If you like the
Yeah,
organic approach, or
Mine's not as difficult as and furthermore, I move it into half drums now.
okay,
And coming off and off. Let's call it
Raised.
raise, like off the ground
Off the
farming. So then I will use it. I go with CCC and get the old drums I use for the mint and what's not. And then I half. I go put some soil in this. So make cucumbers come from sprout down. I just
can
grow
grow.
from right
Okay.
there.
Right.
So
Makes
Okay.
put
sense.
some sticks and thing in it. So
Yeah,
right
like
here,
run up.
nothing on the no pest.
Yeah.
Is you got nothing. So that's
Okay.
where I move it into. I'm not
I-
into selling fruits and vegetables, but I know for sure I just give my neighbor, or give my children.
Make you feel good too.
Yeah.
You know, but you got grow bags
Right.
that you can purchase.
Uh-huh.
There are grow boxes that you can make with wood and
Yeah,
blocks.
NCC was selling
You can
some.
bring up, get some blocks, 6 blocks, bring up to whatever height you
Yeah.
want to bring it,
Right.
and then you put some a bottom, all right, and then you can add in your soil and thing. Easier for you, and it allows you then to control things like the same snails and whatever that have to crawl up. So a simple thing. If you have it in a pan, you can put some water along with some salt. Once they go in there, that's the end of
That's
the
it. At the end of that.
Right, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. As I said before, your thing, you can use garlic barrier, which is really garlic that you steep. That you can spread. This is for homeowners. When you going in out a big acre or open field, unless you're using shade or unless you're using it in some sort of protected way, you have now to go into some harsher chemicals. And even with the harsher chemicals, you have gradations of harsh.
Is there any of them chemicals you would recommend people use over others, or it just whatever?
It depends on what you are growing.
I can be honest.
If
Right now,
persons-
I had start organic, and by the third week, I was like,
think
give
you
me
start from.
the flower, I can
But
kill
I don't
one.
know if James you could speak to this. I find sometimes you just gotta do a little
Mix.
mix up because sometimes the things in the environment you'd be like, where all this come from?
Right.
And then the thing that you're treating the plants with and not as potent as it used to be.
Right.
Two things to that. One, as you're saying, you're doing home. One of the best things you do is maybe to get early in the morning and pick them off. You see the caterpillars, pick them off.
Okay.
Or, as you said, with that, you can use the oils, you can use the neem spray, you can use soap liquid, all right?
Right.
That you can use and spray.
Right.
Easy, right? And it's an
Easy.
easy thing. I think it's about 1 teaspoonful of soap liquid to half a teaspoon of oil and 1 gallon of water.
Okay.
Here, that's
And
Stephanie.
you can
Camera.
work with that. You
Right.
can use bicarbonate of soda or potassium bicarbonate. That helps with things like your sooty mold and things like mildews.
Okay.
All right, and that is 1 tablespoon of the bicarbonate of soda in a gallon of water. Add a half a teaspoon of oil,
Okay.
and you can spray it through. But spray it during the evening time or early morning.
Right.
If you spray it during the daytime, I would say hot, it will burn the plants.
Okay.
Now, getting back to what she's talking about.
The other chemical.
The usual thing that we like to do, Barbadians, if 1 teaspoon kills, 1.5 teaspoons kill better. Right? They don't just kill dead, they kill better. So what happens is, no matter what you spray to what anything you do, you're gonna have 1 or 2 individuals that will survive.
Right.
If you keep on doing that spraying all the time, that 1 or 2 individuals will multiply 4, 8 exponentially. So what you're doing, you're selecting for resistance. So you're selecting a population that be resistant to the
So that
sprays.
spray that you know.
So what she said, you rotate sprays. 1. And sometimes you have to mix. So you mix up their mode of action. 1 might kill by stomach feeding. 1 might kill by poisoning. So depending on what you have, you will rotate or join them together.
Right.
All right. To give you that. And in fact, a lot of chemicals now are coming mixed. 1, to stop persons who are actually doing the spraying from having to mix them. But 2, more importantly, they allow you for that rotation of chemicals and to use more than 1 mode of action.
Right.
That will help you to stop that resistance.
Okay. All right. Well, we are getting ready to wrap
up.
Unfortunately, I feel like a talk for the rest of the
Don't worry,
day.
we can do this
We
again
gotta
because
have more than
we
one
have
of
it more
these.
than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas and think that you think something that would benefit the public, just let us know and we could discuss it.
James, no, from my journalism background, the Ministry of Agriculture does host a lot of plant clinics.
Yeah.
Inviting people to the communities. James, you should talk about that. Pick it yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, we do have plant clinics where we will come into a community. Maybe it's something that we should do some more
Right.
and go into particular communities. Or get them. I mean, everything is online now. Maybe we can have some online. Where you can have an online plant clinic where people can just bring pictures or send in pictures before and we can discuss them. So those are some of the things that we do. But I think we can do more in that we should be able now, or we're hoping now, to have AI. So instead of you asking,
Lord, we did.
Right.
how can I plant such and such, you should be able to go from an AI app. And I'm saying this now, the ministry is actually looking to develop something like that.
That's-
Okay,
So
next
that
thing.
should be coming up.
That's
Where you can go and say, how can I plant tomatoes?
Right.
This is what you do. These are the varieties that are available locally.
Right.
That you can go. Because there's some tomato varieties that can only plant open field. There are others that plant how he's growing in a protected structure.
Right.
All right.
And
So
you need
those
to
are the
get
things you should know. So I think we have to use technology, but technology as a tool. It can't be because she still want to talk to somebody when she get trouble. So
Correct.
that
Yeah.
James come in here, might get in real trouble. Right? The AI cannot do that. You may tell he will tell you, well, I cannot come now. But you need that type of stuff, right? So that is what the ministry, and that is where we're going. As I said, it's a developmental type of thing, but also wanting to the farmers out there, we don't have eyes everywhere. So if you're having a problem, call.
Be like Sheria.
Like Sheria, I want to tell you, be like Sheria.
Yeah.
You know, come and say where we having this problem. I mean, the last couple of the months, we had problems with okras. And people wait to 6 months after we're having problems to say, well, we have been having this problem. You know? We went out there and see them. Oh, maybe they're saying this problem, but we thought, and when what it boiled down to, it was a new pest that was introduced in the Barbadians that we've never seen before. Right? Had we known, we would have addressed the thing earlier. Next thing, we're having an issue now with some sweet potatoes, where the sweet potatoes are not tuberizing. It's a root. So you have a storage root, but then you have other roots, fibrous. So it's just giving fibrous roots. So we don't have to investigate it, but it seems as though there's something been going on for a while. Like, as I hear a man say, well, I just seen this problem, man, since the had the ash fall.
Yeah.
So why isn't that? Why? But you blame us, and I bear with my hand. There's some things that we have fallen down on.
I got a question.
No problem.
The boys don't plant in Barbados.
They still do plant plantings. There's this guy down.
They got
St.
short-
John-
Plantains in my backyard.
they got
That's the
short-
only thing I grow.
There's a shortage.
A plantain.
There's a shortage of plantains. So there's a shortage of bananas throughout the region, not only because of the weather, as well as we had the hurricanes that licked down a lot of them. But this guy at Fraser's, there's a St. Joseph. He has plantains.
I got plantains too, Adrian, if you want.
But as we get back to the disease problems, citrus, you're not going to say a lot of citrus because of one thing. We have something called citrus greening,
Right.
which has reduced citrus throughout the major
Citrus greening.
What that
citrus
mean?
greening. It's a bacterial disease, and it's like if you go on the highway and you see you got a blockage. So what has happened? The bacterium has blocked the highway that allowed the plant to take up food.
Yeah.
Right, so it blocks it. So there's no way. So that's why you see the plants turning yellow, but it's spread by insect. And what we found is that a lot of the plants in Barbados over the years have died because of citrus greening. There's no cure. So what we've looked to do now is to bring in what we call almost like a tank, like what you use for individual trees. So that is what we are going to try now, so that the tree for the first 2 to 3 years would not have that problem.
Right.
All right, but it's something that we have to realize as things saying that along with, and this is why the prices go up. So you'll find out that although some places, but this has in 90% orange juice because they can't give 100% orange juice because the production of orange is down. So they don't have to mix orange juice now with apple juice and all sorts of different juices.
It's something I see here on our screen. I don't want to start a whole other conversation, but I just one quick thing I wanted to touch on. You know, we've been getting a lot of sargassum. And one of the highest ranking videos on our YouTube channel is a video we did a long time ago with a guy that was making the stuff, the fertilizer using sargassum. What was anybody got any experience with using sargassum?
Nope, but it's been used for a long time in Barbados. People dry it out and use it. So the thing about sargassum is that what they've showed is that it had in some heavy metals, lead and some real nasty things. So we actually have a project going with New Zealand where they've gotten up most of the heavy metals. Right. So they now turn it into a liquid fertilizer. Right. Which we have used actually in a project on cucumbers. This is through Cardi and the Ministry of Agriculture. Did fantastically well. Yes. So we're looking now to go the distance where we would now test those to make sure, although it doesn't have a heavy metals thing, we want to make sure that the fruit themselves doesn't have any heavy metals. So that's what we're testing now. So there are other ways that we are trying to use it. And remember, you have to dry it out. You have to think one of the things that people used to use for makeup or whatever, but because of the heavy metals in it, there have been a reduction in people using it for that. But the fertilizer usage, as well as other uses, we are looking into that more. And as I said, the project looks very
promising.
Very, very promising.
Good stuff.
So now I will let you guys give me your final thoughts on growing your own food, or encouraging other people to grow their own food, supporting local.
Farmer Brock?
Yeah,
we start with you.
Growing your own food is very rewarding. Very, very rewarding. something that I also do. When I plant, I factor in some charities as well. So that is why when I stick to my price, I got to stick to my price because I factor in I have an acre, a quarter, an acre. There's go towards. I won't mention these charities, but there's go towards the charity work.
Right.
So yes, when you have in abundance, you can always share because you don't know who out there may be in need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chef.
Chef Adrian.
But quick point. Did you know that avocado is poisonous to birds?
No, I did not
No.
know that.
You would never see a bird pick avocado.
I never know
Right,
that.
but
Thank you for telling me that.
Grow your own food. As you say, it's fun. It feel rewarding.
Right.
Especially when you reach the stage that you can pick it
Yeah.
and then you can make something with it.
Right.
Is from the seed straight on your table. So I know it's difficult now in this is Generation Z or something now.
This fast-paced generation.
Fast-paced generation that they don't have the time to plant that seed, but go back to primary school, put a seed in some tissue paper, put it in cup, and then you could move from there. Get that energy back and planting. But and plant some fresh herbs, plant something. See, I say avocado seeds. Every time I get avocado, I just put 2 skewers in it and put it over a cup of water and rest it outside till the roots come.
Oh,
and that's it.
See,
And-
Patrick?
Yes.
And go
I
from
see.
there.
Well,
Mr.
I would end by
James.
saying, there's a what adage, there's no culture for agriculture. Most of the cultures in the world, you talk about France, what you think about croissants and whatever. You think you go to different islands, you talk about Jamaica, you think about what? Jerk. Ackee and saltfish. Right? Barbados, but in the south. So food. But the food, we have to measure where the food comes from. And I think if we don't remember where the food comes from, people will think that we're in Star Trek age where you could just press and set button. We haven't gotten to that yet. We still have to grow it. All right? And persons must look at that. They pray their larceny, people, we have to cut it out. Be our brother's keeper. And if every person starts to plant a little thing of their own, they will realize what it does, not only for the body, but for the soul.
Awesome. That's a great note to end on. Thanks to our guests. I thank you for listening to Just a Conversation. We hope you feel inspired to start your own journey from seed to table. Special thanks again to our guests, Chef Adrian Cumberbatch, Michael James, and Sheria Brathwaite for sharing their insights. If you want to learn more about how to grow your own food or get involved with local gardening programs, visit our website, jisbarbados.gov.bb. We got enough information there. We just won an award with Chef Adrian, Grow Green Barbados.
Yeah.
Follow us on social media for more resources and tips. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts for more of these conversations about the topics that matter to you.